Hello class and welcome to Reentry and Pathways to Desistance. I'm really excited to be your professor for this semester. My name is Dr. Davis and some of you may know me from teaching juvenile justice last semester. So I just want to give you a little introduction video of what you can sort of expect, how you can get in contact with me, and just some general things about the class so that you're prepared to get started. So this class is fully 100% online. We will have weekly modules. However, with those weekly modules, you will be working through them at your own pace throughout the week. So they'll open up on a Monday morning, and mostly all assignments are going to be due by the Sunday night of that week. However, you do have to make sure that you view and complete everything within the previous module before the next one will open for you. What this does allow, though, is students, if they wish to work ahead, you're welcome to do that because the next module will already open for you once you complete everything. If you ever have any trouble trying to get into the materials, get into the module, please just shoot me an email. It's very possible that I have a setting incorrectly set and I can get that fixed up for you. So how can you get in contact with me? Well, I prefer email, so my email is up here on the screen for you, brianna.davis@delval.edu. However, you can also reach me by phone, and if you need to set up a Zoom meeting, we can always hop on a Zoom call together. That's no problem at all. Please note that the number given here is my personal cell phone, so I just ask that you be mindful of the times that you're reaching out. I'm an old lady at heart, so I'm pretty much in bed by 9 o'clock. So try to keep your contact, if you need to reach out that way, between normal business hours during the week from 8 to 5. Now, do not panic. We will have some quizzes and exams throughout the semester. So you're going to have 12 quizzes, basically one every week for the previous week's material, and then 2 exams. You'll have a midterm and a final. The midterm is cumulative only for the first half of the semester, and then the final is cumulative from the second half of the semester. I don't typically do cumulative exams that way. However, because we're working with so many different articles and a couple different texts, I really want to make sure that you guys understand the information and understand the material. So that's why I have those there. Also, the exams and quizzes, because you're at home or in your dorm room, they're open note, but they're not open internet. So I really do caution you, do not use Google, do not try to look up the answers, because one, I'm going to know, because I will put the question into Google, and typically the first answer that pops up is what students have chosen to use, and I'm going to fail you for the quiz or the exam. So just don't do it. Use your notes. You have access to everything while you're taking it. You have as much time as you need to take it. So really take your time with these. If we cover a lot of articles that week, I will try to put which article or which reading the question came from within the question so that you're not trying to search around for where to find the information. But just make sure you're doing the readings every week. Discussion boards. These are going to be 20 points each. There's a couple of them throughout the semester. I know everyone likes discussion boards because it gives you the opportunity to really hear from others, hear their perspectives, and sort of dive into the material. But I also don't want to give you one every single week and then have you get sort of sick of them. So there's discussion boards, sprinkled throughout the semester. They're 20 points each. I ask that you have complete and thorough posts. There is a rubric that's provided that you can view, so make sure you read through the rubric to see what's required to earn each set of points. And it's pretty straightforward. I don't deviate from my rubrics. So your initial discussion board post is going to be due by Thursday nights at midnight, and that simply gives you and your fellow peers opportunity and time before Sunday to reply to 2 of your peers, because you need to have 2 replies. I will say I'm not hard and fast on the Thursday night deadline. I'll still accept it after that, but if I notice that every single student is not turning their initial post in until Sunday, then I'm going to become a little bit more strict with requiring that. So just help each other out and get your initial post in. The initial post does need to be a minimum of 250 words, and yes, I do use a word counter, and then your 2 replies should each be 150 words. Really, I do this so that you know about how much detail you should be providing to completely and fully answer each of the prompts. All right, for your midterm project, what we're going to have you do is complete an IRB application for a hypothetical research study on some reentrant population that you choose. We're going to do this in steps, so this will not or should not overwhelm you. The first step is going to be determining the research population. You're going to develop your hypotheses and then conduct some background research on that population that you wish to study. The second step, you'll describe your research population and develop a consent form for that population. And then the third step is where you're going to do the bulk of the work describing your research study, including how you're going to conduct it, potential risks or benefits to the participants and society, and then any conflicts of interest that could potentially be there. So we'll cover a lot in the beginning of the semester on researching these populations, issues that there are when you're trying to define recidivism, issues that these populations and that researchers have when trying to study these populations, so that you have a little bit of a better idea of how that works to complete this project. But this is the first time I'm doing this, and I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. Then your final project. Here's where you will have to interview someone who is working in the reentry field. And again, we have 3 steps for the final project. Again, I don't want any of these projects to be overwhelming for you or to feel like, wow, I have a whole lot due in this one big project and there's a lot of points to it. I will give you feedback on each and every step so that you will know what needs to be corrected and adjusted before you turn in the final finished product. So there's going to be 3 steps for this project as well. First step, you're going to develop your interview questions. The second step is you're going to actually conduct the interview with someone, and you're going to be writing down their responses to that interview and giving me contact information for the person you interviewed. And then you'll write a paper or record a presentation on the whole experience. What you learned, what it was like interviewing the person, and how what you learned through that interview relates to all of the information and material that you learned throughout the semester. So I want you just to hear a lived experience from someone who's working in the field. Now, it is possible that you can complete the interview on someone who is not working in the field, but who has been on the other side, who has been in the criminal justice system and who has experienced this. But that is completely up to you if you know someone and you can make that contact. As a professor, I can't tell you to make those contacts, but I've had students ask that in the past, and that certainly is fine. I really just want you guys to get an understanding of what the research says and how accurate is that to what individuals actually experience when they're working in the field. Now, attendance. Again, you're not going to be marked for every time you log in for whether you attended the class or not, but I just expect that everyone is reviewing all of the course materials in each week's module. I will note that I can see when you log in and how many times you've viewed something, what you viewed. So if you email me and tell me that you failed a quiz and you want me to reconsider letting you take it, but I can see that you haven't opened any of the information within that week's module, the answer is going to be no. I don't allow retaking of quizzes anyway, but just please make sure you're reviewing everything. I have it as organized as it possibly can be. All of the materials you need, any videos or podcasts or extra websites that you're going to be checking out just to help supplement what we're learning. So make sure you're watching the videos, make sure you're listening to the podcast. Throw the podcast on while you're in the car, driving somewhere. Some of them are really interesting to listen to. And reach out if you have questions. So I have a 24 to 48 hour policy of I will respond to you within that amount of time. Typically it is quicker. I usually try and get back to you within a day if I can. But what I need you to not do is reach out on a Sunday night telling me that you can't access information or material. The expectation is that you are opening information on Monday or Tuesday of that week and then just browse through everything. Make sure you can open it. Make sure you know what the assignment is for that week before you start reading the materials so you have an understanding or an idea of what you're really looking for, what you're reading for. And reach out if you have questions. before Friday or by Friday. I will answer emails on the weekends, but it's not going to be very helpful to you. And I don't allow late work to be turned in, which we'll get to on the next slide, actually. Let's move into that. I don't allow late work to be turned in unless we have both had a conversation and I've agreed and permitted that extension for the late work. What I've found is that with online classes, students tend to get a little lackadaisical and they'll wait until Sunday thinking that they can get through all of the readings and get the assignment turned in, realize they can't, and then email me at 9-10 o'clock saying that they had a really stressful week and they need more time. I do understand there are other life stresses, there are work stresses. I am all for giving you all grace because I will need grace at times as well throughout the semester as your teacher. But please just reach out with enough time that I can respond to you and that we can have a conversation to see, what's going on and what type of an extension you may need. I don't like to grant extensions on a regular basis, so while I may grant them here and there throughout the semester, please don't email every week asking for an extension. With that, I need to talk about plagiarism because AI is huge. We all know ChatGPT can be very helpful when you're trying to draft emails, when you're trying to come up with a creative title for a presentation even. But AI does not have any place in academic writing. So what I mean by that is any writing assignment that you turn it in will check not only for plagiarism, but it will check for the use of AI. And with that use of AI, if it pops up for anything, it's going to be a fail for that assignment. If it happens again, it's a failure for the class. And I don't want to fail anybody for the class. Please just do not use AI. Do the readings yourself. Understand the information for how you read it. Most of the discussion questions are going to be sort of, what do you think about this topic? There's not necessarily a right or a wrong. I want to see what you're getting out of the information. So if you have questions on the information or on the materials, just reach out. We can certainly hop on a call and have a conversation and a discussion about it so that you understand it a little bit better, but do not use AI. Even putting a paper into AI to help improve the way it sounds, that is really going to pop up for AI and plagiarism. Again, that's not you writing the paper. I want to see your work. So I hope we all understand that. If there's any questions, please feel free to reach out and we can have a conversation. The last piece I want to talk about are accommodations. So if you have a disability for which you are requesting accommodations, please make sure that you contact the Disability Services Office. If you already have approved accommodations, feel free to talk with me privately so that we can figure out how I can best assist you. So just shoot me an email and we can set up a time to have a conversation to make sure that I'm able to support you best throughout the whole class. And with that, are there any questions? Please reach out. I do not ever hesitate to reach out with a question that you have because I will always answer the question, and maybe someone else in the class has the same question, but they just didn't want to email and ask it. So I can then post an announcement to make sure that everybody has the same information. What I did forget to mention is that I will post an announcement on Monday, the week that module starts. I typically post an announcement halfway through the week and then at the end of the week reminding you of what assignments are due and when they're due. However, it is on the student to make sure that they are turning things in on time. I have set due dates on all the assignments. There is a course schedule and the syllabus are listed in the syllabus module within Canvas. So it lays out the entire semester for you. There's no surprises. There's everything just laid out, nice, clean, organized. It helps me stay organized, and I hope it helps you stay organized as well. So with that, I appreciate you taking the time to listen through this introduction video. Make sure that you mark complete on this video, as you'll also have to mark on all of your lecture videos throughout the semester. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm super excited to be teaching you all this semester. So have a great semester.